started. We have quite a few wonderful folks to hear from today, and so I'm just going to get started. Our first speaker is Mario Herrera. He earned his associate degrees in psychology, sociology, and social and behavior science from Los Angeles Mission College before earning his BA in psychology from Cal State Northridge. He went on to earn his MA and PhD in psychology from the University of Southern Mississippi. He comes to us from the University of Southern Mississippi, where he was a visiting assistant professor. He conducts research on the effects of cognitive appraisals on the recall of memory for emotions and false memory. He indicates having an inclusive teaching philosophy that promotes critical thinking, quantitative reasoning, and scientific skepticism. He will be speaking today on the malleability of memory for emotions. Please welcome Mario Herrera.
Well, hello everybody. And before I get actually started into the talk, if you have like a cell phone, you can go ahead and like utilize the notes, or if you have a pen and paper, then that would work excellent. But other than that, you can go ahead and just follow along. So this is a quick little activity that I like to do to introduce my research. So if you read this word of list and try to remember the words, the first word is sour, honey, bitter, heart, tooth, nice, sugar, chocolate, taste, tart, candy, soda, good, cake, pie. So just try to write down the words and see what you can remember. And there's no particular order. Everyone good? All right. Does anybody want to volunteer and tell me, read the list of your words? Well, go ahead.
Candy, soda, good, cake, pie, honey, sweet, sugar, heart.
All right. How many people wrote down the word sweet? Raise your hand. Raise them up high. All righty. So the word sweet was not actually included in the original word list. So I automatically implanted a false memory. And so this is known as the Diess-Rodrigo-McDermott word paradigm list. And so this is a ethical way of implanting false memories in individuals. And so that is kind of the realm of the research that I do. I look at memory beliefs, memory distortion, and false memories. But my story did not originally begin in psychology or researching memory. It originated with the love of statistics. I used to have a negative connotation with the word statistics because growing up in the LAUSD system, we were always told that look around in your classmates because you may become a statistic. And I did not understand what they meant by that. And so teachers would say, well, look around of you, about 1 in 4 students in your classroom are not going to graduate high school. And so they used mathematical priming to kind of tell us that we were not going to be successful. But the teachers were not wrong. Only about 60% of my class actually graduated, and the other 40% either dropped out or were retained for a longer period of time. And so entering college, I was really interested in statistics, and I took a statistics course where I found out how statistics can be used to understand human behavior and mental processes. And so that's kind of where my love for psychology was or developed. And I took a lot of psychology courses, and then I transferred to the University of Cal State Northridge, where they had a phenomenal statistics program in the psychology department. And in my time taking a psychology course, I came across Steve Ramirez, and he is a neuroscientist that studies false memories and animal models. And he created a very unique study where he was able to implant a false fear memory into a mice and turn it on with a laser. which was really fascinating, and more so that he was from El Salvador, which was more inspiring to me. I was like, well, I want to learn more about this. And doing that, I came across papers from Elizabeth Loftus and Lawrence Patias. And I found out that Lawrence Patias was actually an alumni from Cal State Northridge. And so I did one of the things I guess it was one of the best decisions I made. I cold emailed him and he responded, and he said he was looking for a graduate student. And I was like, okay. And he's like, what are your two top things? And I was like, well, I really love statistics and now memory. And he's like, that's exactly the graduate student I need. And so I thought I was going to UC Irvine, but I found out I was going to the state of Mississippi, which was the best decision I ever made. When I went to the University of Southern Mississippi, Dr. Patias and I worked on developing a memory of love towards parents questionnaire, which is an instrument that we could use to measure the strength and frequency of love recalled in childhood for both parents, mother and father. And of course, this is kind of where the false memory stuff comes in. We wanted to see how accurate can people recall the love in childhood. Very important autobiographical memories. And there was growing research to show that memory for events are prone to distortion, so people have trouble recalling that. And so we wanted to take it a step further and see whether memory for emotions were also prone to distortion and see whether are they malleable. And so we conducted a study where we randomly assigned participants to two conditions. In the mother appraisal up condition, where they wrote about positive attributes, so they currently appraised their mother with positive attributes. And then we had the second condition where they had to write about when their mother displayed a lack of these positive attributes. And we had a control condition, because it's always good to have a control condition to infer cause and effect. And when we looked at the data, kind of shocking. We actually found that we could distort the recall of memory of love felt towards mother. Those in the mother appraisal up condition recalled more memory of love towards their mother in childhood compared to the mother appraisal down condition. They actually recalled less memory of love towards their mother in childhood. And of course, we called the IRB right away because we just distorted the memory of love towards mother. Luckily, the IRB just said put them through the positive condition, and we did. And so we did more studies. And another study I did was I wanted to look at how I can apply the current appraisal and have people appraise how successful they are in life. And in doing that study, I also found that if I have people appraise how successful they are in life, they would recall more childhood memory of love towards their mother. And that's kind of the research that I do, that I try to see how memory of emotions are malleable. Because we think about it, those have very important implications in law and in child custodies. And also just, it's very important knowledge for the public to understand that their memories are prone to error, so to be skeptical of their memories. And that's my goal here at UNCA, is to recruit students to dive into this type of research, and also to give students a new chance to explore and develop their research skills. As my time as from transitioning to high school and college, I was always given great opportunities to reach here, to become a scholar. And so that's my overall goal, is to help recruit students to find their love for research. And I don't usually go for the top A students. I look for students who I can see that have potential, but they don't see it in themselves. So I try to spark that interest and that love for research. Thank you.